3 skills you need to be a digital rock star.
This show is for everyone working at the coalface. Digital, business, marketing, social. This is At the Coalface with your host, Jason Greenwood.
Hello everybody, I'm Jason Greenwood. Welcome to episode 40 of At the Coalface. I'm absolutely excited, thrilled, pumped, whatever adjective you want to use about being at episode 40 of At the Coalface. It feels pretty good to, had the stick-to-itiveness to actually get to episode 40. I hope to do many more episodes, but certainly 40 is a significant milestone. 50 will be even better, and 100 will be even better after that. So really looking forward to continuing to communicate with you guys, have a dialogue with you guys, hopefully share some valuable content, and really get to know the audience even better over time. So really looking forward to that. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Today I want to talk about a subject that is pretty exciting from, an experiential standpoint that I have based on my background, and that is really 3 essential skills, or more importantly, skill sets that you really need to have to be a digital rock star and someone who really stands out in the space, whether it be digital, e-commerce, but digital in general, digital transformation within the businesses that you work for, own, or consult with as an agency, working in the agency space. So the 3 skill sets that we want to talk about today are business skills, marketing skills, and technical skills. And you really need all 3 to really be a well-rounded player in this space, in the vertical of digital. And so the first one I want to talk about is general business skills. So you need to understand how businesses operate, how they make a profit, how they go to market, what their pricing models are, what their approach to the marketplace is, what their approach to dealing with competition is, how they erect barriers to entry to their competitors, how they monitor their competitors, how they go out and they really change the game, how they bring innovation to either their own internal business or they bring innovation to the space that really allows them to have a point of difference between them and their competitors. You need to be able to understand profit and loss. You need to be able to understand profit per employee. You need to be able to understand revenue. You need to be able to understand revenue sources. You need to be able to understand channels and how that all works, and obviously foreign markets and foreign market penetration. You need to be able to understand at least the basics of taxation. You need to be able to understand the basics of insurance and liability and all of the red tape that goes along with regulation of specific industries. You need to be able to really understand at a really gut level how business operates, how it makes money, how it makes profit, how it hires and fires, but the HR component of any business, and being able to make sure that you can attract talent, make sure that you can retain that talent, make sure you can train and improve that talent over time, and make sure that you can bring everyone together as a cohesive whole towards one goal. Then, that's an absolutely mission critical part of running any business. And regardless of your role in the business, understanding how that works and how you fit into that process or you fit into that paradigm becomes a really important skill to have as you try to contribute back to the business in every way possible that you can. HR is really critical to the success of any business, so human resources become just absolutely the differentiating factor in the success of a business. And so really what it starts out with in terms of the business side of things, there's 3 main components and 3 main questions that you want to ask about how the business operates. What is it we're trying to achieve? Why is it we're trying to achieve it? And then out of the bottom of that drops out the how. So you never want to start with the how. You never want to jump straight into how are we going to do this. You want to absolutely intrinsically understand what is it we're trying to achieve, why are we trying to achieve that, what are our drivers, what are our intentions, what are our motivations, and then from there the how will generally emerge very clearly out the backside of that, of how you go forward from there. The next absolutely mission critical skill you need to have is a basic understanding of marketing. So how are you going to drive demand, or how does the business that you're working for or consulting to, how do they drive demand for their products or services? How do they get the word out that they exist? How do they could have the best product, the best service in the entire world, but if nobody knows about it, then they won't be in business for very long. So you have to understand the fundamentals of marketing. You have to understand the fundamentals of transactional marketing, which is typically wrapped up in promotions and specials, and very much this ability to drive a sense of urgency to cause your customers to want to buy. And that's oftentimes, unfortunately, what many businesses rely upon for the bulk of their businesses. Very transactionally driven marketing. So, pay-per-click ads, especially we're talking in the digital space now. If you're a pure play online player, or you're consulting to pure play online players, or even omni-channel businesses, often from a digital perspective, they're very much transactional marketing focused. And the better businesses, the better executing businesses take a much broader focus than that. They're focusing on brand building and brand strength. They're focusing on content, and they're focusing on building an audience that then they have the opportunity to sell to without necessarily having to discount their products, because they've built up enough value in the minds of their customers that there's no need to discount, or very little need to discount, to cause the customer and push them over the edge to actually want to make a purchase either one time or over time, on and on and on and on again. It's much easier to retain a happy customer than it is to go out and get a new customer. So one of the core tenets of marketing is remarketing to existing customer bases as well. So inbound marketing is really the catchphrase for how digital marketing has really evolved over the last few years, as opposed to push marketing, where you're pushing your message out and really, it's the shotgun approach, and that you hope you hit somebody or something that's going to respond to your marketing message. The pull marketing is to really create attractive content, to create attractive information, to put information out there that's going to attract a natural audience that has a natural affinity for your products and services, and is going to want to do business with you when presented with the opportunity to do so. When they have a need that your product or service aligns with, you're going to be the top of mind because of the content that you're putting out, and because of the frequent interaction, the relationship, the dialogue that you're having with your audience. Those then become your potential customers once you have an alignment between a need that they have and a product or service that you provide. So understanding those basic marketing tenets of inbound marketing, and how to generate demand, how to generate interest, both through transactional marketing as well as brand and inbound marketing. Obviously, those two things come together to drive all revenue in business. So marketing is an absolute fundamental practice or fundamental discipline within a business. And so when that marketing strategy comes together, obviously all of the tactics within the business have to come together to support that underlying marketing strategy that should be put together typically by a marketing manager or a marketing specialist of some variety within your business, depending on the size and scale that your business is. The third skill set that is absolutely critical to be able to be top of your game, top of the industry, top of the market in the digital space, is technical knowledge and technical capability, the ability to understand technical language. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily need to be a developer, a web developer, or a digital developer of some variety, an app developer, etc. But certainly being able to understand the underlying technologies of the internet is absolutely fundamental and critical. So understanding all of the various different platforms that come into play for e-commerce, for content, for back of the house digitalization of your systems. So from your ERP to your warehouse management, to your fulfillment systems, to your CRM systems, and that single view of the customer, and understanding how CRM systems work from a technical perspective and how they need to be configured for best effect, and how those systems need to be integrated with each other so that within the business you have a single view of the customer, you have a single view of your products, you have a single view of your channels, and how they all perform and interact with each other. So having a technical capability and the ability to learn new technologies very quickly, be able to vet new technologies, to be able to go out there and research new technologies, pick the best one for the application that you need within your business, being able to understand how those holistically need to talk to each other, perhaps share data via integration, and then seeing and visualizing how those technologies fit in to the wider business strategy and wider business goals and marketing goals, that becomes a really critical skill so that you can then communicate with developers. You can translate the language of developers. You can translate the internal business requirements into technical requirements that then can be handed over to developers, and then you can manage the developers as they implement that technical solution to what is fundamentally a business problem or a business challenge or a business opportunity. And so really those three skills they have to be in almost exactly equal measure. Oftentimes in digital, you'll see that there's a bent towards, especially in e-commerce, there's a bent towards marketing skill sets, either traditional or digital marketing skill sets, and there's a bent towards business skill sets, but really there's oftentimes a real lack of technical understanding, technical ability within the digital space, full stop. And so oftentimes digital specialists, their eyes glaze over when they start hearing technical speak about different platforms and what they do, how they do it, the skills that they're going to need to learn to leverage and use those platforms to best effect within the business. And it really requires getting your hands dirty. It really requires getting stuck into some of these platforms. You know, if it's a potential new platform and they have a trial period, then you know, signing up for that trial period, getting stuck in, you know, setting up campaigns. If it's a marketing platform, you know, depending on what the technology might be, you need to do different things. If it's a CRM platform that you're going to try out, actually get in there, try to create a customer record, see what that looks like, see what fields are supported, see what fields you might want to have when you do marketing and segmentation for your customers that you want when you want to communicate with them. Make sure you have a really thorough understanding of the technical underpinnings of how your business works. Otherwise, you will not be able to do things like build a digital technology roadmap. You'll never be able to effectively map business needs and requirements with a technical solution, because obviously you need to have a very deep understanding of business analysis and be able to identify and document those business requirements and why they're important to the business before you can start mapping them to a technical solution, or even start testing a technical solution, or start searching out a technical solution in the first place. Now, oftentimes, from a technical perspective, you will have an implementation partner, a development partner, an e-commerce partner, a digital partner, you know, maybe a full-service digital agency that you're working with or that you're working for. And so oftentimes you'll have technical specialists that are very, you know, specialized in terms of the platforms that they know inside out. But you need to have a basic understanding of all of the commerce stack componentry that is required to do business digitally and do commerce digitally today. So you need to have a good understanding of POS or point of sale systems. You need to have a good understanding of site search technology. You need to have a good understanding of e-commerce platform technology, EDM platform technology. You need to have a good understanding of integration, methods of integration via CSV files, via web services, via APIs. So you need to have a really good understanding of these things. You need to have a good understanding of PIM tools, product information management tools, and how that affects your ability to present and merchandise your products to your customers on the front end of either your website or through other channels like eBay, etc. You need to have a good understanding of the technical workings of marketplaces and how they work. So affiliate marketplaces and marketplaces like eBay, Trade Me, Amazon, etc. You know, shopping comparison websites, how do they work? How do product feeds work? So I don't want to overwhelm you, but certainly there's a lot of technical, technical knowledge that you need to have at least a basic level to be able to have confident and competent discussions within your organization and with third-party vendors, so that you can get the best out of those third-party vendors. And when you're talking to them, especially if you're just in the process of vetting some new technology and talking to some new potential technology vendors, you want to be able to ask them the smart questions. You want to be able to ask them how their technology is going to map to those business goals and requirements that you have within your business, and be able to ask the really smart questions of how their piece of technology might be talking to the rest of the pieces of technology in your stack. And so you won't be able to ask really smart questions if you don't understand the core needs that you have, and if you don't understand the core technologies that you're already using and the core technologies that you're looking at deploying over the next 12, 24, 36 months. So those are my 3 real key areas that you want to focus on in your career. If you want to have a strong and flourishing digital career, you need to put yourself in a position to where you understand those 3 tenets. And that usually means that you need to position yourself in your roles that you select to work in. You need to position yourself close to people that have those skills already, that you can kind of glean from, that you can learn from, you can be under their wing, and you can learn from. So there's obviously the ability to go and be a project manager within an agency, and then you're going to be exposed to lots of different technologies and digital projects. There's the ability to go and be a business analyst and be able to go in and do discovery with businesses. The ability to document requirements and start to map those and start to develop and document the technical solution that needs to be implemented to meet those needs. There's the ability to go in and become a digital marketer, whether that be for paid search, whether that be for content, becoming a content writer, understanding all of the ways in which you can become a social media marketing specialist and really have the opportunity to be exposed to all of the different social media platforms and be able to be maybe a social media community manager on behalf of a business, or consult to other companies that are trying to build their social brand presence and reach. So there's 100 different ways to be able to get skilled up in each of these areas, but really you have to make it a focus in your career if you want to get good in each of those 3 areas. So you need to be able to understand strategically as you're mapping out kind of your career, you need to think very carefully about the roles that you apply for, that you take on, so that you can expand your knowledge set, your skill set in each of these 3 core areas. And hey, look, if you are lucky like I was, when I worked agency side, I had the ability to grow my capability in all 3 of those key areas into one role because of the breadth of the role. Now, not everybody has that opportunity, and I was lucky prior to that, to own my own e-commerce business. So I was kind of dropped in the deep end of having to learn all 3 of those skills as part and parcel of owning my own business in the space. So not everybody is that lucky, and so you kind of have to map out your career strategically to be able to tick off those 3 major components. And you're typically either going to work agency side, you're going to work merchant side, or you're going to work with a vendor of a technology or a platform. And you can have the opportunity to learn those 3 skill sets in any one of those environments. You just need to make sure that it is a focus for you in your career. So hopefully that information is going to make you think long and hard, I guess, about what you know today, some gaps in your knowledge and skills, and maybe some gaps in your experience that you want to plug and fill to make yourself more desirable and set yourself apart as a prospective employee, as a prospective rock star in the digital space. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know of your experiences in trying to develop those 3 skill sets and how that has perhaps benefited you in your career today and how you look at leveraging that moving forward. Hope that's been helpful. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.